Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is time for Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Monday morning is July 24th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan. At the Coffee Ann table, we'll say good morning to Dave Richards, who has not moved an inch.
No, but
morning,
my
Dave.
microphone is in a different position for the television cameras.
Yes, it certainly is.
There you go.
All right, Melissa Murray is here, too. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. We just heard the announcement that Barbie was #1 at the box office.
Yes.
My daughter and her friends went to go see it. Loved it.
Of course.
But they're a bunch of 17-year-old girls. Of course they're going to love it. So it's weird. They went to go see that. Then they went out to eat, and one of them suggested, let's go see Oppenheimer. And so they did.
Okay.
On the same night.
All right.
And I said, "Dude, boy, talk about..." And Oppenheimer came in second, by the way.
Right.
I said, talk about two vastly divergent movies.
They're trying to strike a balance, I guess. I don't know.
Well, she liked it. She took AP U.S. history last year, so she's a kind of, I wouldn't say a history buff, but had a pretty good knowledge of what was going on.
Good,
so,
great.
The
Yeah.
development of the atom bomb
Yes.
during World War II,
Yes.
right?
And
the
so
Manhattan
she
Project.
enjoyed it quite a bit. She told me, Oppenheimer is not a documentary. It's a not a biopic, but it focuses on Oppenheimer, who created this, and how distraught he was afterwards that he created this.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Monsters
course.
killing machine.
The fun part of it all,
Yeah.
the grieving angst.
Yes, that part. Oh, how
A lot of people
history
like
gonna
that,
perceive
Joe.
me. And, well, yeah. So
Yes.
she thought.
Not me. I stay away from those movies. I read the book.
Yeah.
Yes, his book that he wrote,
He wrote
about
it
the whole
himself?
thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it did well. at
not
the box
something that
office, too.
17-year-old girls are going to go to. 'Cause
Well, they're not going
it's
to
just-
read that.
Yeah, there's just not an awful lot of grieving angst.
And I don't know. I said, who decided you want to go see it? I don't know. 1 out of 5 said, "Hey, how about this?" And
everyone said, sure.
And
hey,
everyone
they were
said,
out- they were
"Hey, I don't
out.
want to go home yet.
That's right.
I'm having
Yeah,
too much
right.
fun."
it's
So-
too much fun. So let's go see the movie that
Let's
started
keep the
at
party going.
that started at
and-
like 10:30.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
she got home at like 2:00, 1 o'clock in the morning. It's like,
Yeah.
anyway, but it's funny because they wanted to go. They wanted to go to. I don't know if you're familiar with this place. It's a place called Legacy Place. This is where the movie theater was. It's in Norwood, No, it's in Dedham, Massachusetts, nearby. So they head out. I think it was Friday night, and they head out up Route 1, and ran into a lot of traffic because that's where Luke Combs was.
Oh.
And they said, "Well, we just want to go on through." No, they had
No.
to turn around and get back on the highway if you want to go any farther north. This is just for the concert crowd.
So only the concert crowd could use
Yes,
the road.
yeah. They turn around, go the other way. They get back on
Seems like
495 to 95. Or,
poor planning, poor design.
poor plating on my daughter's friend's
well, no,
spots,
I meant
think.
just like for the folks who designed this whole.
Well,
yeah,
Route 1 is
I meant
only 4
city
lanes,
planning
and
or
we only have
town
so much
planning.
room
yeah,
for
right.
the crowds that
right.
are coming.
Well,
so if you-
it happens every time there's a concert, so
Yeah.
something's going to have to be done,
So-
right?
Yes, few people
would
are not going
think.
to the concert. Don't go. That's what they've
Just don't go
decided.
out.
They've decided not to do that.
Well,
Don't
with all
go
that
then.
revenue, they could figure out a way, don't you think?
They'd have to build a 5th lane or a big bridge to go over everything if you just wanted to keep going north. Other than that, turn around, go south, and find another way. And that's what they did. So,
Okay.
alrighty. And we did have a note that was called in, 766-1240. The person says, went against my principles in saying this team, this and that in July. This is talking about the Red Sox. As the Beatles said, I should have known better. The Tampa Bay Rays have lost 14 of their last 18 games. The runaway train has come to a halt. Orioles are in first place, and the wild card scramble is on. Rays will win the first wild card. They are the first wild card team now, but then we have the Astros, the Red Sox, the Yankees, all within 3 games of each other with 60 games to go. So we'll see you in September. It'll be the big race for the wild card in the American League East. So we'll see what happens.
I'm glad
And,
they're enjoying the season.
Well, yeah.
I'm glad they're enjoying the
yeah, they're
season.
still in last place.
I've
but
already resigned
can
my
still-
brain to the fact that we're, see you next year, guys. But
We'll see.
I don't know. I just I got that idea in my head early in the season, and I'm just not one of the Fenway faithful anymore. I guess.
I guess
I don't
not.
have that starry-eyed optimism.
Did you see the water cascading down the steps at Fenway Park on Friday night?
I saw, clips of that. That was
Wow.
insane.
Yeah.
That's the
How do they get the water out in time for? They must just.
It'll somehow go down and get onto the field, and that's where the real
There's a
drainage
gutter.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Okay.
There's a gutter.
So because they were able to play the next day.
Right. I know.
And everything was fine.
Yeah. So I went to a Gulls game on Friday night.
Down in Newport?
Yes, it
See
was.
the Newport Gulls?
Yes, it was
Collegiate
actually
baseball.
really awesome. It's
Yeah.
college, right? So
It is college, yeah.
It was the Gulls versus the Swamp Bats.
Where are they from? Do you
Swamp
remember?
Bats.
The Swamp Bats, yes.
Guess I'm deficient on my bat.
I know.
intelligence, 'cause
I was like,
didn't
did
know
I
there
hear
was
that
a
correctly?
Swamp bat.
I
Yeah.
don't know what a swamp bat is, but it was a good game, and I don't remember where they're from. Like they're all from, everywhere.
I
right?
asked because my nephew is playing for the Mystic Schooners, who play in that league.
Yeah.
And why they're called the Mystic Schooners, I don't know, because their games are played in Norwich.
Well,
Connecticut.
I mean, they all
I
have
guess there's no baseball
interesting,
stadium
all have
there.
interesting names.
Yeah.
Right. But it was a great game. I loved it.
Well, good.
I know. I'm like, I'm kind of getting a little into baseball now that I
Baseball now?
understand what's going on. But, and it, it's a cute, like old, cute. It's a cute old, not stadium,
Cardenas
but,
Field, yeah, the-
field. But
All wood.
all wood, and but
Yeah.
it's like what a great time to see a game. The only thing is the game got called because the fog rolled in. I mean, it looked like the beginning of Scooby Doo, right? And then I saw this
Here it
fog
comes.
rolling in, and then they called the game, and by that time it was like I don't know 8:30. We
Yeah.
were or maybe closer to 9. We were hungry, so we just left.
All right.
But it was a fun time, and it's affordable. I recommend
sure.
it if you can find free parking.
Tough in
I don't.
Newport.
Well, I'd rather walk because I don't pay for parking.
All right. Very good.
I refuse.
All right. I wanted to go after the elephant in the room here, and I wasn't going to bring it up, but I guess it's time to. Dave might not even know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
Melissa
I don't
might.
see any elephants in this studio, Joe.
Well, do you know the country artist Jason Aldean?
Oh yeah.
No.
I only know him because he's now been controversial.
Oh.
You don't know what's going on?
I do not.
He's got a song out and a video out.
Okay.
It's considered controversial, and the song is called "Try That in a Small Town." Okay.
Okay.
And it is so controversial
Okay.
that Country Music Television has refused to play the video because it's so controversial. Which is now, you know what that's done?
Made people watch it even more, right?
It's sent the song to #1 on the country music charts.
Okay. So tell me
Exactly what
why
it is.
it's so
Well,
controversial.
what I want to do is I want to read you the lyrics. I don't want to play you the song.
This is what woke people do. They work
Yeah.
against themselves constantly.
So here goes.
Okay.
Because I can't sing like Jason Aldean, but the lyrics go like this: sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjack an old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool? Well, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the street. Around here, we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long. For you to find out, I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Got a gun that my granddad gave me.
We got the message
You got-
from the
you-
first part.
okay.
Joe. You don't
I don't have to keep going on?
continue
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we
people,
got the flavor of the tune.
you got to.
All right,
There's more.
all right.
I can sing more.
I bet you could.
All right. So the controversy comes is he's promoting violence
Okay.
and it's racist.
Well, it's racist because they don't like it. Anything they don't like is racist.
Well-
It's racist because he's white. He's a country act.
That's right.
And he's going after these people right from the first stanza. Sucker punch somebody on the sidewalk, carjack an old lady, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store, which was what was going on in the cities when they were burning them down.
Okay. So he's making reference to George Floyd.
Not
Or like-
necessarily, more like
Okay,
the
because
riots.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that. I was thinking those things, and I immediately pictured in my head a white person doing them.
It's not. And I guess the video is a little more controversial, which I
Okay.
have not seen. And I guess they're using clips of different violent things happening.
Okay, from like current events.
Yeah, for over the last 3 years, I would say.
Okay. So it's more of like the message is more of like a threat. Like, don't come to my town.
Well, don't try that here,
Because my
or
granddad gave me a gun.
A gun. And we're going to
yeah,
use it.
that's not cool. But you know what?
for good old boys raised up right. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town.
Okay.
Try that in a small town.
Okay, so it's like a dare, like kind of a threat, veiled threat.
Don't
not
try
so
it
veiled
here,
threat,
or
don't try it
else
here.
we'll come and get you. We'll put a stop
Yeah.
to it on our own. Too much vigilanteism.
Yeah, yeah.
So you haven't
right.
heard about this? This
I
kind of
haven't.
broke over the weekend.
No, I've been blissfully ignorant
Ignorant of the whole
because
thing.
I worked all weekend and.
Okay, there's
So,
nothing wrong
no.
with that. But
No,
So-
there isn't. Well, I mean, unless you like weekends. But think about all the controversial songs that there have been. I mean, I don't like the song. I think it's a horrible message, but I have to defend freedom of speech. And, you know, if people don't want to play it, then, then they're not going to play it.
Yeah.
Like, if the country radio stations don't want to play it, then good for them. But
But
also...
But I think they are. I think they are playing it.
Oh, they are playing
because
it?
it's at the top of the country music
Yeah,
chart. So
yeah,
why
yeah.
wouldn't they play the top hit?
Yeah. I mean, if it came on, not that I would be listening to a country station because I don't
Yeah.
particularly like country. Like, old country's fine, like legit, like country, but not country like rock that they have
Country
now.
Okay.
I sound old. Like these days, they have country rock, and it's not real country, and I don't like it. But if I heard it, I would absolutely change the channel.
All right. Dave, any thoughts on this controversy?
It'll come
Just
and go.
another manufactured controversy in newsdom. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of some of Prince's songs that, oh my gosh.
yeah.
I mean,
Come on.
I mean, I have a Prince T-shirt on right now, so you're asking
You know,
the wrong person
When
about.
you stray into art and you try to put a social consciousness on art, good luck. You're in for a tough sled.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, because artists are taught to confront. They're taught to challenge. They're taught to do things that aren't normal in society. So, why are you surprised?
Well, also, if you can do something shocking and you get a lot of PR for it. Oh,
But it's
then-
funny. This song came out
Yeah.
in May,
Okay,
and
so
now it's 2 months later, and now
okay,
now
so
it's an
now-
issue. And
yeah.
I don't know.
do
Who,
so
Yeah.
well until people started complaining
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it. And then it gets to be.
and now it's big.
The whole issue here is that everybody involved in that whole thing, except for Mr. Trump, is under 60 years of age. Otherwise, they would have remembered what happened when you opposed things in the 60s and early 70s and realized that you're stupid trying to oppose them and to satanize them, demonize them, because you just work against yourself because then people want them. Be grown up. All right, that's stupid, that's dumb, that'll die out if you ignore it.
Eventually,
If you don't ignore it, it ain't gonna die out, and more people are gonna copycat it. So you just made your life worse.
especially country songs, which only stay at the top of the charts for 1 or 2 weeks, and then
Yeah.
there's always another country song coming along.
Yeah.
This is all
So
part
quickly.
of that. This is all part of that undeniable equal and opposite reaction theory. That if you want to put up opposition to things you don't like, you can expect to see more of what you don't like.
Well, I'm waiting to see if they go down to the country station in Providence,
Yeah.
CTK, and pick it.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Well-
I can tell you this though: if you ignore stuff like that, it just doesn't have an effect on you the
Yeah.
same way.
It'll
It really
probably be a
doesn't.
flash in the pan, and like I said, I don't like it. It's very January 6th type message, but here I am wearing a Prince shirt. So I don't believe in censorship, so I can't.
Right.
I can't say that that's wrong and that's bad, and
Yeah.
but then like what I like is okay. So it's all or nothing, folks. If you don't like it,
100%, 100%. I'm
then
with you on that one.
boycott the person, not the
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
If that's not your yum, then you don't buy it, and you just move on. You
Well,
let somebody else enjoy it. You move on and enjoy your life over here. Tolerance and peaceful coexistence is the way to go
why-
in the long term.
Why would country music television come out and say, "Okay, we're not going to play the
It's
video
run by
now"?
Viacom, which is just a bunch of young people,
That
who
don't
think
like the
they know what
message.
they know what
Liability.
the
You
liability.
think so?
Yeah, they probably
that's
think
right.
there's some kind of liability there. Like someone does one of those things, and like, oh, because I saw it on the,
I saw it on the music video.
I saw it on the music video.
gotta-
I saw it on a video game. Like, no, Just own your own stuff.
That's been tried before.
Yeah.
Where bands, mostly the heavy metal bands, have been taken to court.
Right.
because
Remember when Dee
you-
Schneider came and
Yeah, and that, and
yeah.
AC/DC's been sued for causing to someone kill themselves, and the bands always win.
Yeah.
It cannot be proven. So.
Right.
And it's because of Prince we have that parent message on
Yes,
albums
yes.
and
Thank you,
CDs
Tipper
now.
Gore.
That all started with him. Anyway, all right, we'll move on from this. We're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
It's coming. It's the Holy Trinity Parish Carnival at the parish grounds on Park Square in Woonsocket. Wednesday, August 2nd through Saturday, August 5th. Ride all the Rockwell rides Wednesday night and Saturday afternoon with a one-price rides-all bracelet. The Holy Trinity Carnival Kitchen and parish games open from 6 to 11. Food trucks featuring Mickey G's clam cakes and chowder, Spanish cuisine, and bugged-out barbecue. Classroom bingo and entertainment every night. Plus fireworks Thursday night and a Saturday matinee. It's 4 nights and one great afternoon of summertime fun at the Holy Trinity Parish Carnival, Wednesday, August 2nd to Saturday, August 5th. Make your plans to be there. This Friday, July 28th, at the Lebanon Free Concerts at Woonsocket's River Island Art Park, we open with the high-energy world debut of Paris Scribe and Big Frank at 6 p.m. Then, at 7:30, our headliner band begs the question, what do you get with a ukulele, an electric violin, and two guys who look like rappers? You get great music with B Twins.
No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as my team sing with me. Oh, darling, stay.
Live music, food trucks, on-site bar, kids activities, and activities for everyone with the dynamic Jerry from Jerry's Bluffing Boutique. If you can't come this week, the concerts will be broadcast live over the air on ON AM and FM stereo radio and streamed live at WoonsocketRadio.com or watch in your home on your smart TV via the ON Worldwide channel on YouTube. Our broadcast is sponsored in part by Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center, Tasca Buick GMC, Family Discount Furniture, Dean Bank, Peter J. Hopkins Attorney at Law, and Jerry's Bluffing Boutique.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
WOON, Woonsocket Radio, ON, AM, and FM.
Thank you very much. It is the Coffee and program on ON. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Melissa Murray. We didn't get a chance to mention this on last Friday's Coffee and program because the news broke after the Coffee and program. So this is the first time we get a chance to say anything about it. But Tony Bennett passed away last Friday, 96 years
96.
old. I mean, who has a music legacy the last 70 years?
Right.
Well,
Man,
nobody.
it's
And he's
astounding.
performing up until like
He was able to keep his
recently.
pipes up to the end, but of
Yeah.
course, with his advancing age, there was advancing dementia, and he found it wasn't fun anymore having to read off cue cards all the time and then forgetting to keep reading off the cue cards.
Yeah.
right.
And so that's when, and I'm a big advocate of that, by the way. A person should make their own decision when they stop working. Seriously, we've had folks on the air here. I remember the great white hunter Teddy Shimura. It was way back before your time, Melissa. I think before yours too, Joe, wasn't
Oh,
it?
no, I remember Ted.
Oh, you remember Ted?
Oh, sure.
Ted? Okay. He could barely talk.
I know.
He had one lung removed,
Yeah.
and he was just huffing and puffing and trying. And then
Wasn't
he
the
got
other
throat
the other
cancer,
lung,
and his
half of
voice
it
went high
removed?
pitched. It was very difficult for him to get anything done.
Yeah.
But he
He
still
couldn't
did
breathe.
his hour and a half show.
Yeah.
I had the decision, and I said, Ted, you're going to tell me when your last show is, because he kept asking me. He says, "You're going to kick me off? You're going to kick me off?" He says, "I sound like heck." I said, "Well."
That's not how
No,
Ted,
Ted.
talked.
I know. That's right. I cleaned it up. But I said to him, I said, "No, you're going to tell me when your last show is." He says, Well, I'm not going to make that decision. He says, I'm just not going to be able to come in one day, and you're going to have to replace
then
me.
you'll know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tony Bennett, 70 albums.
Yeah.
70 albums. And 19 Grammys.
That's phenomenal.
2 of them after he reached his 60s. So, yeah,
Yep.
quite the career.
He did
But
all
he had
those
a good
duets,
Teddy Bear.
right?
Yes,
that
that's
album
right.
of duets.
He had a
and-
very strong voice. He's consummate professional. People loved to work with him. He loved the audience. He always made them feel special. So you can last when you do stuff like that.
And always in a suit and tie when he
Yeah, oh,
performed,
sure.
no matter, even when he came out with the Red Hot Chili Peppers at,
Right.
at events.
That's his,
there he is in a
yes,
suit and
right.
It's
tie.
his uniform. That's
Good.
that's what people expect when they see him. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. So that's great.
So those young Dubliners we saw Friday night, by the way,
They were not in a suit
are
and tie.
professional. No, they are professionals.
Yes.
You know, you hear one thing in the records, and you can imagine another thing. You know, these people are just roaming around, you know, all over the place, touring band. But when they got up on stage, they were there for you. Not one word. It rained for about 15 minutes. It was a little
And not
uncomfortable.
hard,
People
but,
didn't leave, but it would rain. They had the ponchos,
Ponchos.
and stuff like that.
No
So-
parkas. It was too
yeah,
warm
right.
for parkas.
And some of the umbrellas came out,
yeah.
but it was only 10, 15 minutes, and they never even mentioned it.
No.
They didn't ever. It was everything was about them. And then the last number, the encore, they had everybody get out of their seats and come up and crowd the stage.
And they did.
They were all, and they did.
And they did.
People loved them.
The violin player I thought was tremendous.
Yeah.
Just
So
real,
I mean,
real talent.
You, when you are in the entertainment business to entertain people and not just there to make money, your decisions are different. A crowd reacts to you different. You have staying power. You have people who will inconvenience themselves to see you. And Jimmy Buffett is another one of those.
Yep.
All right. Other things going on. There was a story in Saturday's.
And we'll be hearing Jimmy
call.
Buffett again tonight.
Yes, we will. As a matter of fact, story in Saturday's call about an uprising at the one of the homeless camps here in the city of Woonsocket. 3 people were arrested.
And that's what
Early morning robbery
I would not have
on
called it
Tuesday.
an uprising. There
No,
was
I
an
guess
incident.
not. Incident.
Yeah.
Benito Rodriguez, Shelly Farrow, and Tori Rochon were all arrested on charges: first-degree robbery, conspiracy, and also drug possession of controlled substances. And like they say, nothing good happens after midnight, and this happened at 3 in the morning
Yeah,
last Tuesday. Police investigated a report of a woman yelling for help on the area of Green Street, which is right near the radio station here.
Yep.
And they found her walking through the parking lot of a nearby convenience store. So, there we go. So that happened last Tuesday.
Desperate folks do desperate things.
They do. You're right. And all right. Well, hopefully things get better for those people. So, statewide, Melissa Sabina Matos says she's a victim of circumstance. That's not what she said. I'm kidding. But she says she's the victim in all this. Do you agree with that?
I
statement?
don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Now they did find out the campaign worker that got the wrong signatures.
Correct.
Holly McLaren is her name.
Yep.
And she's been linked to the fraudulent signatures. She's since been fired from the campaign.
That's good. That's a good first step.
The incident is still under investigation by the Rhode Island Attorney General's office
Yeah.
and the state police. But Sabina Matos says she's the victim of someone she trusted. Okay, that's nice to say. But do you agree with it?
I think for me, okay, so I have to get 100 signatures. And I make sure that when I give someone else a sheet, I say, look, you can't like go into a place and pass this around and then get it back to you and then, vouch for it and have it notarized and
Right.
say I was there. You have to literally oversee every single signature.
And watch them sign.
Right? And when yes,
This
you have to
person
watch
has to be
them
known to
sign.
you or introduced to you.
Well, I mean, it's not like you're going to ask for IDs because
No,
sometimes
no.
you right,
Known or introduced to you.
right, you see them, you ask them if they're a registered voter, and sometimes honestly they say they are, but they're not. So or they don't realize they're not in your district, or maybe they're just too embarrassed to tell you that they're not registered, or they something like that. And you watch them and you put their address and you tell them sign here, and you witness it. And then they can't verify the signature, then that's not a crime. It's right. But if you pass that sheet around and it comes back to you, and people down at the end of the bar or wherever in the room, and you're not overseeing it, and they write their name of their mom and their dad that passed away, and they sign for them. Well, you don't do that, and I make sure that I tell folks. And if I don't think that they're capable of doing that, then they don't get, if I can get 100 signatures, 500 is a lot, but not in reality. They had quite a bit of time to do it. And this person, from what I understand, got a majority of the signatures, or a large amount
Okay.
of the signatures in different places. I just think, no, it's on you. It's on you.
Okay. Dave, is it on Sabina?
Wow, Joe, this is just a classic example of any leader is responsible to the public for what their subordinates do. They will be held accountable for what their subordinates do,
Right.
whether they knew their subordinates
Were
did
doing
it
it.
or not. It's always the person on top that takes the
the buck stops
responsibility
there.
for this. Right. And that's classic. It's well accepted in our society.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, Sabina will be held accountable for that. What she does about it will or will not satisfy people holding her accountable.
Right. And, if choosing a staff and choosing who's, in your kitchen cabinet, as I like to call it in politics, is really important. You're going to be in Congress, and then you're going to be choosing your staff and who's around you. So you better be making good decisions on people who you're surrounding yourself with. We don't know how well she really knew this person, or if
Right. Or just came highly recommended, or
Right, but this person has been getting signatures for a lot of other folks,
Yeah.
and so I feel like people are going to go back and call those signatures into question. There's nothing you can do about it now if they're already in office.
well, you think the people
But-
running against Sabina would say, "Hey, check all of them, even the
Yes, that's what
500
they-
that were okay."
That's
you
what they're
gotta look at
doing.
them
All
now."
of them. All of
Okay.
them.
So, and just still talking about the special election, so they have decided not to put the candidates' names in alphabetical order.
It's a lottery.
Now it's a lottery, and so congratulations, Walter Burbick, you're number one. I don't know where Sabina lands up. I don't know where
don't-
Steve Casey landed
Yeah, I
on,
don't know.
on this list. And
We probably go to the Board of Elections if we cared enough.
I guess,
and find
yeah.
out.
but there's no
But
Republican lottery.
It doesn't really matter. You go and find the
Find your
candidate's
candidate.
name that you want out of the list.
But you
they
think-
may not be. Oh, they won't be alphabetical. But I mean, you can go find them.
But people go in who don't know who they're going to vote for and just vote for the first name they see.
Then they deserve to have their vote wasted.
But
I can't help them. You can't cure stupid.
I know that, but you can't
Jeez.
pull it out of the machine either. And
You can
say,
educate people, but you can't cure stupid.
I know, but they're still voting for the first person they see, and you can't separate
I
that
know.
from the other votes cast.
Yes, I know.
Unless you ask
I
them.
heard all about that before. And that's
All
why
right.
Emily Perico had her name legally changed to A. Perico once, because she wanted to
Be
run
at the top.
on the ballot, and she wanted to be on the top.
All right.
That's actual history here in the city of Woonsocket. I'm not making it up.
So no Republican lottery because the Republican Party actually endorsed a candidate.
Okay.
Who knew? And they endorsed Jerry Leonard. So since he's the endorsed candidate, he's number one. Terry
The
Flynn.
Democrats didn't endorse anybody because they're
That's right.
scared.
And so Terry
They
Flynn
don't want to tick off the one who wins.
just comes second.
That's true.
They don't want to endorse the one who didn't win.
So that's the way it's going to look. So it won't be
I
alphabetical.
can't believe
Go
Melissa
find
agreed
your-
with me. I thought she'd be appalled
no,
at
it's
that
true.
comment.
No, it's true.
You think it's true?
Yeah.
All right.
That they didn't want to endorse the loser, possibly.
No, they're trying to play it safe.
Well, there's no
Yeah.
real losers here. There's a winner.
Right.
Well, yeah.
And then there's those who ran and didn't make it.
Didn't get endorsed.
You can't.
too.
You can't. Now, if it's two-person race, you could say a winner and a loser, right? But in a field of 13, well, now 12, because one dropped out. I mean,
but it'll still be on
there's
the
no
ballot.
real loser there. There
Yeah.
is a selected person, that's one who wins.
And you have the state Democratic Party who wouldn't, I don't think, overwhelmingly choose one person.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
It
political.
would be,
don't you
it would,
think?
it would, yeah.
But why wouldn't they go with the lieutenant governor? Since she's the top, second to the top person.
They may not
believe
They may not
that-
think that she can win.
Right.
Okay. All right. Wow.
And, you know, there'll be division of the House on it. Some will agree, some will not agree.
Right.
And then after they look at the agreement and the disagreement, they say, this isn't worth it. We just won't endorse.
That's right. That's how it works.
Okay.
No sense in saying, okay, this one of the 6 kids is my favorite. Best to keep your mouth shut, Mom and Dad.
Right.
It's
I
like-
love
like
yous all.
Usually, the incumbent gets the endorsement of the state party.
Right.
You
But there
don't
is no
ever.
incumbent.
Right, but there is none, so that makes it
But there's
difficult.
no downside for the Republicans because they have 2 people and one is clearly favored by the committee.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
No downside.
We have to take another break here in the Coffee AM program. It's time for
Then
the
let's
weather
take another
forecast.
break, Joe.
Okay, we'll do that. And the weather forecast being brought to you by Unbound.org.
Partly cloudy skies today with a high near 88 degrees and a calm wind. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 67. Tuesday's weather, partial sunshine, 86. Wednesday, sunshine in 90. Thursday, sunshine in 92. Friday, sunshine in 94. Saturday, sunshine in 86. And next Sunday, sunshine in 83 degrees.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street under mostly sunny skies, we have 77 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change the world, and it will change your own at unbound.org.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
I love our Rhode Island shoreline, but our location makes us vulnerable to hurricanes and tropical storms. It's important to be prepared as best we can before the storm hits. You can help by knowing your risks, getting flood insurance, and being familiar with your evacuation route. Let's all do our part to be hurricane strong. The steps we take today can help minimize damage tomorrow. Learn more at RIEMA.RI.gov.
Brought to you by the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Hi, this is Gary Smith. Join me for Do You Remember, Tuesday through Friday mornings at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Thanks, Gary. And Gary had his get-together yesterday at Chan's. And Dave
Fabulous
was there.
Denise and I were there, and
a good
it was,
time?
wow,
Well attended?
very, very well attended. I think there were a couple of empty chairs, but no empty tables.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's a big room to fill just by saying to your friends and stuff, come on down.
Please come on down.
On a Sunday night even. And
when we're not paying for it. Other than
was-
your food's on you.
well, no, that's just fine.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
But to get people to show up with that.
Sure.
Yeah. That's great.
Denise and I had a couple of our favorites. I brought home some extra that was on the plate, and I'll have that for lunch today, which I thought was pretty good. So great chance food. But the band was 5 brilliantly,
Assembled.
brilliantly accomplished, great musicians who had never played together as a unit before. It was a pickup band. And there was nothing wrong with that. Tim Pike put the band together from people that he knew and appreciated and respected, and boy, he ain't wrong, because they had a guitar player there last night who had a special device that made his guitar sound like a Hammond B3 organ.
That's awesome.
That is incredibly awesome. He could switch
Yeah.
back and forth from guitar to
The
organ.
organ on his guitar.
Really?
Wow.
And when they're doing a little soul, a little funk music, and
Yep.
having that sound in there was
Yep.
just great. Guy with a 5-string guitar, bass guitar, I should say. Very, very well accomplished. Young lady who had This was interesting. She was the one with the white guitar amplifier and the light green guitar cord going to her devices, and a white, looked like a Gibson for all my knowledge, guitar, and she just smiled the whole time, no matter what she was singing, she was playing. She just smiled all the time. Very, very, very nice. And then, of course, Tim Pike making his faces and singing the blues. And they had a drummer last night who, I don't know where he worked usually, but he had a voice and he could imitate any of the mainstream singers or Ray Charles. Mm-hmm. And he did a great job of it. In fact, at one point, they weren't going to do any Tony Bennett songs, but he did the first couple lines of San Francisco.
All right.
In between songs while they were retuning and things like that, getting the things right. And the crowd went nuts because he sounded great. He did Frank Sinatra, sounded like Frank Sinatra, did that. What a great, it was a good band. And it's funny because this was a very informal family sort of thing, you know. Gary had gone up early and addressed the crowd, thanks for coming. And then he sat down, and then it's time for the band to come up. The band's coming along. While Tim was setting up, I went over, this is Tim Pike, Gary's friend, great musician, and I went over and I said, Tim, I'm Dave Richards, and I believe that no great performer should go on stage without a proper introduction, so I'm going to step up and do it. What do I call your group? And he said, we just put it together. Call them the Put-Togethers.
That's good. I like
And
it.
so I said, okay. I walked away, and when he gave me the sign that everybody was up and ready to go, I got up, grabbed the microphone, got everybody's attention, said a few complimentary things about our hosts, and then I said, let's see, how did I put it? I said, great musicians. Well, no, I said, bands come and bands go. Boy, do we know that. Anybody who's been in music for all their lives know bands come and bands go because you can't keep a band going forever. Personnel change and stuff like that. But great musicians will always find other great musicians to play with. Here's 5 great musicians, the Put-Togethers. Let's hear it.
All right.
That's good. I like that a lot.
And they liked it, and they just downbeat as soon as I said it was better than Levitt. I mean, sometimes Marlon's up there, he introduces everybody, they're off on the grass somewhere. They got to walk up on stage and put their instruments on. He did that better in the first years of Levitt. I don't know why this year, you know, everybody's off stage when he's up there talking. I don't get it. But
All right. We did have a note that was called in on another subject. Ron
Is
DeSantis.
it baseball again?
No, politics. Ron
Okay.
DeSantis does not know when to keep his mouth shut. He's in hot water again.
Just like his idol,
Racial
Mr.
slurs about slavery. I don't know what he said.
doesn't matter.
I really don't pay attention because I'm waiting for the inevitable debates to come around. So let's see what DeSantis and Pence and Trump and any other Republicans have to say.
Yeah.
Same thing when RFK goes up against Joe Biden. I think they'll debate and see what they have to say. So until that starts, I really don't care what he has to say. And
Yeah,
I don't
he-
know what he
he-
said
he-
this time. So.
And Biden will say, I worked with Jack Kennedy, and you're no Jack Kennedy.
No, you can't use
Oh,
that.
boy.
That's been used. I knew your dad.
Yeah. DeSantis does not know how to keep his mouth shut. It's it's almost like
He's like Trump then.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
trying to be more outlandish.
All right.
That's not the goal here. The goal here is to present as someone who is capable of leading our country with a
Yeah.
level head and not flying off the handle and catering to the vocal minority and saying all these crazy things. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
But so he knows his base. His base isn't going to get him elected.
Right.
So what's his real end game here? Just to gain fame and notoriety?
And
He's definitely
get the press to cover you.
right. He's definitely not trying to expand his base and appeal to the average American. And he's also saying like all these horrible, awful things all the time. So I just try to not listen to him.
All right. What do you think about this, Melissa? This is back in Rhode Island, down in Providence. And do you see this? Dave thinks it might spread to other communities. The Providence City Council is banning new self-storage facilities. That's it. We have enough.
Great.
Done.
Good.
Now, the sponsor of the ordinance, a Providence City Council member, Miguel Sanchez, says the self-storage industry has grabbed up the scarce amount of available land in the capital city, which ought to
Yep.
be used to address the state's housing crisis.
Absolutely.
Do you see others like
I
Woonsocket
hope
doing
so.
the same thing?
I hope so.
We gotta ban no more. We have
I
enough.
think, yeah, absolutely. No
Dave,
more. There's so many.
Dave shaking his head.
Unrealistic. Well, there's two
In
things
what way,
going to
Dave?
happen. The next thing is you're going to get all the complaints. The politicians get all the complaints. My self-storage just tripled the rent. Because they're not building them so much, then they can now start increasing their rents on the whole thing. So there's going to be a big fallout on that, and then people are going to stop using the self-storages, and the stuff is still going to lay fallow. You can't just keep beating people and expect them to get up and smile and say, give me another one. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way in the real world. In the free enterprise system, you can't take an old mill building and say, it's going to cost you $45 billion to put people in that thing because of all the rules we have, or it'll cost you $500,000 to make that mill building self-storage, and you don't even have to staff it but one person around the clock.
But the need for housing.
Oh,
Okay,
no. Don't be talking about altruistic things. Talking about the realistic.
Okay,
that
so we
I've
have-
got a piece of property,
Yep, we have
and I can't
tools.
afford to do anything with it.
Yep, we have tools in our
And
toolbox.
it's against the law to burn it down. So
Don't,
what am
please
I
don't
going
burn
to
it
do
down.
with it? I'm
Don't
going
do
to
that.
find something I can afford to do to make it make money. And if you make it so that they can't afford to put people in it, which government is really good at doing.
Oh, yes, it
and
is.
well along the way of
Yep.
all the different rules and stuff
Yep,
like,
yep.
oh no, now you can't use this kind of paint. You have to use that kind of paint. Has to be this color. Oh no, you can't have this kind of ventilation. You got to have it sealed tight so that there's no ventilation.
So there are tools in the toolboxes of cities
Yeah.
and towns, tax incremental funding, like TIF programs, and tax incentives
Yeah.
that can be used. And I think that
No,
cities
they
and towns,
can't.
cities and
Because
towns
once
need
you take
to
a favor
be.
from a municipality, you have to do everything their way.
Well,
You
I
can't do it
think
the way that you
that-
want to that will make money for you. You have to do it
Well, that's the
their
problem.
way.
That's the problem
and you
in
give
the
up
city
your
and-
property rights when you take grants.
Not if the city and town does it correctly.
Well,
right?
name one of the 39 that does, please.
Well, I
right
think-
now, I'll put
you know
you
what?
on the spot, lady.
I
Name one.
I can't.
Give me the first letter of their name. You don't even have to name the whole name. Give me a B. That could be 4 different communities.
I'll give you a
but you
P.
can't
I'll
prove
give
it.
you a P.
I think Charahoe's nice.
Well, you know what? I mean,
What? Charahoe?
Charahoe.
Charahoe is not a community.
I know it's
Right.
Richmond.
It's a
we're
regional
gonna
school
think.
district.
We need to think outside the box
Mm-hmm.
and loosen up the rules. Yes, I said it. To make sure that these things happen. I mean, we have to make sure that. Okay, someone wants to come in and invest in our community. Let's not micromanage them. We'll say, okay, we need you to have this and we want you to have that. But it's really up to the investor who's going to hopefully build housing of how they're going to do that. And sometimes we need to step aside and say, all right, well, is their money? They're doing it. We can't be, nitpicky about it. We need housing. All right. Maybe we require a certain percentage of that to be affordable. And I know that's a bad word, affordable housing. And I'm not talking about
Because it's a lie. It's like
before
the
affordable-
unemployment rate.
the affordable by subsidy, but then there's affordable by design, right? And everyone thinks affordable means affordable by subsidy, but affordable by design. And yes, hold them to it. But, there are ways to make this work, and we don't need more storage units. And you know what? A lot of times when people lose their place to live, and they don't want to get rid of all their belongings and they only have what they can take with them, they will rent a storage unit. So, hey, let's give them a place to live, right? That's affordable.
In the storage unit, right?
Well, you know what? That's going to start happening if we don't do something about it. I'm sure it's already happening.
I'm sure it has.
I'm sure.
Because you see the storage units, hey, they're heated. There's air conditioning. There's no facilities. There's no running water.
Right,
But,
right. So
Have to go back to the honeypot, Joe.
Let's
That's
let's
right.
change direction here and do like the Dignity Bus. Think outside the box and make a collective effort and figure this out. And until everybody gets on board and wraps their arms around this problem, Nothing is going to change, but we need an all-in. I know I'm being optimistic.
No, I know
but-
you're being optimistic, and I respect that, because somebody's got to think like that. But how do you get it done is always the rub.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take another break on the Coffee Amp program. Comments and questions can still be called in at 766-1240. The Broaster House is the place for excellent dinners like broasted chicken or chicken family style, Delmonico steak, and hot turkey sandwich. The Broaster House features 10 delicious appetizers like stuffed quahogs and the house sampler. Enjoy seafood at the Broaster House like butterfly shrimp or roasted fish and chips. And don't forget the combinations from 4 to 32 pieces. Eat in, take out, and they cater at the Broaster House, 263 Pond Street, Woonsocket. Call them at 762-1717.
Remote car starters are great to have in the summertime. They can cool off the inside of your car when the sun is blazing. Stop by Inferno Audio on Clinton Street in Woonsocket and speak to Keith about how easy it is to have a remote car starter installed in your vehicle. Now, if your air conditioner isn't working in your car, no problemo. Inferno Audio can make it work. So don't drive around with a hot car burning your fingertips. That's not safe. Plus, they can make car keys for any make or model of vehicle, and the price will be far less than the dealership would tell you. Stop in today and see Keith at Inferno Audio, 160 Clinton Street, Woonsocket, just next to KFC. This Friday, July 28th, at the Lebanon Free Concerts at Woonsocket's River Island Art Park, we open with the high-energy world debut of Paris Scribe and Big Frank at 6 p.m. Then, at 7:30, our headliner band begs the question, what do you get with a ukulele, an electric violin, and two guys who look like rappers? You get great music with B-Twins.
No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as my team sing with me. Oh, darling, stay.
Live music, food trucks, on-site bar, kids activities, and activities for everyone with the dynamic Jerry from Jerry's Bluffing Boutique. If you can't come this week, the concerts will be broadcast live over the air on ON, AM, and FM stereo radio and streamed live at WoonsocketRadio.com or watch in your home on your smart TV via the ON Worldwide channel on YouTube. Our broadcast is sponsored in part by Rhode Island State Senator Roger Pickard, Woonsocket City Council Vice President Valerie Gonzalez, Woonsocket School Committee Chair Paul Bourget, and Woonsocket City Councilman Brian Thompson.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
Thanks for joining us on Coffee and Joe Callahan here, along with Melissa Murray and Dave Richards. And we had another data security breach here in the state of Rhode Island, this time at United Healthcare Student Resources.
And they find out about it months later.
Months later. Happened in late May. Here it is, July.
Awful.
This happened 2 months ago.
Keep passing them laws there, Melissa, because, they don't even know there was a data breach. So what do you mean this 14 days we got to report it? You don't even know. And then you find out 2 months later, and you're in
Right.
violation of a law
So a third
when
party...
you found out.
Third party got into their servers in late May, and they took a lot of information. Names, date of birth, addresses, phone numbers, emails, plan identification numbers, policy information, and social security numbers. So they're notifying the people whose data might be compromised, offering complimentary credit monitoring and identity protection services.
Okay.
Happens
Well,
way too often.
I'm sure folks have already been compromised,
Yeah.
like right away. Yep. There's a lot of scams out there.
It's tough getting that notice. Oh, yeah, okay, this happened 2 months ago. You just let me know now?
Right. No, that happened to me with the last breach.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, all of this, state workers and all of our data was in there.
All right. Other things going on around the country. It's amazing of the things you have to tell people not to do. Like don't take a bath with a toaster or a
Right.
hairdryer.
Don't eat the silica gel.
Don't eat the silicone
Who-
gel. Don't eat the Tide Pods.
Who did that?
Here's a new one. Here's a new one. Doctors have now got to tell people don't eat or drink borax.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's a TikTok trend suggesting adding a pinch of the 20 Mule Team Borax to water can help relieve joint pain. All right. Many of the same TikTok videos claim taking a bath while soaking in borax helps detoxify the body. The real
Use Epsom salts, folks.
That's good stuff.
They are, right?
I wouldn't eat
And
it.
No,
but-
no.
But
But you can put a
doctors-
little pinch of salt in
Yeah.
your water to get, your,
Now today,
electrolytes in balance.
the real doctors, they say consuming borax can cause blue-green vomit or diarrhea and and can eventually lead to anemia and seizures. All right.
Yeah.
Soaking in borax is not good either. That can lead to rashes, and borax is found in laundry detergent and also packaged on its own as a cleaning product.
Yeah.
The main ingredient in borax is also used to exterminate insects such as ants and cockroaches. So,
Yep,
so
yep,
why
they always
thinking,
say-
"Oh, this will help your joints in that elbow." This is good for you.
It's the same thing when folks started talking about drinking bleach to keep from getting COVID or
Yeah.
putting peroxide up their nose to keep from getting COVID. Like, this is just, if you're not sure, ask your doctor.
Yes, they'll
That's all, right? Like, you have a question? Ask your doctor.
Don't get your medical advice from TikTok.
Don't get your medical advice from social media or anybody who's like, I heard that if you do
Yes.
this, just drink this and you could lose blah, 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 blah. No, don't.
Feel free to ask your doctor. Hey, this is going around about this putting a pinch of borax in water
yeah.
and drinking
Is this
good
true?
for you. Should I do this? And they won't laugh in front of your face. They'll be a straight face.
Right.
They'll say, no, you really shouldn't do that. Then after you leave, they'll go in their office and laugh hysterically. But,
Yeah,
but
or
you-
or
but they
call a
won't- you
colleague
won't
and
see
say,
it.
you won't believe
Are
what
you
somebody
get-
just asked me.
Are, are you getting this question? That's right. So
Oh dear.
yeah, no borax in the.
No, it's a cleaning product. Like, whatever you're going to use to scrub your tub,
Yeah.
you probably shouldn't be scrubbing yourself or drinking.
I mean, you don't want to. If you use Comet, you don't ingest that stuff, do you?
Yeah,
All right.
some people do. So,
All right. Does this woman have a lawsuit? Here we go. Out in California, a woman is suing a California restaurant claiming her meal was so spicy it was unfit.
How spicy was it?
Thanks, Dave. It was unfit for human consumption. That's quotes. Yet she ordered it. The lawsuit also names the cook, the waitressing staff, and the owner of the Coupe de Thai in Los Gatos, California.
okay, so it was Thai food?
Thai food, which is known to be spicy.
Absolutely. You were going to get Thai food. Presumably, you weren't used to eating spicy food.
Well, maybe they are, and not this spicy.
I mean, I've had some
Have you
pretty
seen-
spicy Thai food.
There's that new, what's that? It's called Hot Ones. Have you seen that show? I forget what channel it's on. It's on one of the paid cable shows.
Where people
channels.
just eat hot
That's what, they bring out
things.
spicy. They have a gallon of milk right nearby because
Yeah, I
water's
didn't
not going
think-
to help.
I didn't think
And
milk
you-
Bread
helped
will
either.
help too.
And so there's a bunch of celebs. And
Yeah.
they come out and they eat as much as they can before it's too much, and then they down the milk. That's the premise of the show.
Well, hopefully, they don't go into cardiac arrest.
So anyway, so where were we? Okay, so she's accusing them of negligence and intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Emotional distress. So she didn't get burned. She didn't like.
Well, she says she did.
Okay.
So now she ordered an appetizer, and the appetizer was called Dragon Balls, and this took place in the summer of 2021.
Okay.
She claims the bites she took were so spicy, Dave.
How spicy was it?
She suffered burns on her vocal cords, esophagus, and her nose. Maybe the fumes went up that way.
Well, you're not supposed to eat it with
Okay.
your nose.
I know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say how much, but she's demanding money for medical expenses and to cover the loss of income. Probably had to take a few days off from work. That's the emotional distress.
Okay. All right. All right.
A lot of people just get into these things to game the system and make money
yeah.
the other way. Well, if I can't win the contest, I can certainly just sue the people putting it on.
You know you're going to eat Thai food. You know it's going to be spicy.
They had to have a description of what the Dragon
right, then
Balls
there's
were.
like, you know, a lot of times they'll have the peppers, like 1 pepper, 2 peppers, 3 peppers, or what. I mean, I have ordered stuff that was so spicy I couldn't finish it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
You didn't sue the restaurant?
No, I said, well, you know, hey, I don't have what it takes,
All right.
apparently. But
It doesn't say it here, but aren't there some restaurants that if you order something, they have you sign a form, a waiver form?
not that I know of. But now restaurants, what if it was too salty and she had,
She had hypertension.
Hypertension, like,
I don't
yeah,
know.
come on.
I don't. Obviously, she got a lawyer, and they were able to put in a lawsuit, and this will go to court at some point.
And then no one's allowed to have spicy food anymore.
I don't.
I'm taking Dave's place right now.
I just-
no one's allowed to have spicy food. Everyone's gonna
There
have
should
to
be a
eat
law.
oatmeal and applesauce when they go out,
And bread.
and
And white bread. That's
white
it.
bread. No rye.
No more spice. That's it. It's too
No
spicy.
spice.
And all salt and pepper,
Oh,
paprika,
no
thyme,
paprika.
basil.
Yeah.
Get it off the shelves.
I don't know. Keep that oregano in check.
That's bad too. Anyway, I don't think she wins this one. Yes, you can sue, but I just
can,
I don't think she wins.
Right.
It's not about
And I feel
the
bad for
winning.
that it was like
it's
a mom
about
and-
the threatening and the settling.
Well, it's just, but it's
Ask Bob.
If it right, but if it was a chain, like we had the McDonald's people that were sued down in Florida
Yeah.
for the hot chicken nuggets, that's different. You're
Yeah.
you're suing the franchise owner, but they get a lot of money.
This is like a mom and pop restaurant?
The Coupe de Thai, I don't think it's a chain.
No.
So I don't know how much they think they're going to get. So okay, so
Kind of.
Doesn't matter when you don't have much and you get a lawyer on commission. Doesn't matter how much you get.
Kind of makes me want to go and try it, actually.
all
You
right,
try the food.
look them up
Yeah,
online.
the
Maybe
dragon-
they'll send you an order. All
At
right.
least they'll be cold.
Yeah, that's true. All right, where is the Cats, California? Where's Los Gatos?
Los Gatos?
Is it San Diego? Is it L.A.? Is it North? Anyone know where it is?
The cats. I don't know.
Don't know. Oh, okay. So down in Florida, all football activities are being suspended at Florida A&M University. On Friday, their football coach, Willie Simmons, announced via Twitter that, quote, all football-related activities, unquote, are banned after an unauthorized music video was shot inside the school's locker room. So it's really nothing really terrible happened, but they didn't have permission to be in there.
Okay.
Simmons said the video contained, quote, graphic language and, quote, licensed apparel that may violate the school branding agreements.
Okay. So presumably the football players were involved in this and
Yes.
got filmed and
Or someone
did
let
this.
them
and
in, yeah.
Somebody let them in, yeah.
And if they're wearing Nike stuff, Nike on their jerseys, and they got their deal with Reebok, Reebok's going to have a fit.
Right.
So, okay. So while Simmons didn't name the musician behind the video, rapper Real Boston Richie posted a music video the same day showing him inside a locker room while wearing Florida A&M University polo shirt and a helmet. So, Florida A&M University football has been suspended until further notice.
Okay.
Until we get people coming forward that organized this, said who put this together and who let them in.
Well, I mean, if you're going to film inside a university, presumably you would ask permission of the university if you could do that, and they would say, okay, what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? Blah, 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 yes or no. You know, it's not your, it's private property, and you probably should ask permission.
Always better to ask for
Apparently they thought they could ask for
permit-
forgiveness
Yeah, they
or
just-
not.
If we ask for permission, they're just going to say no.
They're just going to say no, right?
We don't want that, so we're going to get this done. But I don't know. I wouldn't. If I were to guess, I wouldn't say it was any of the starting football players because this is just ruining their chances to get to the NFL. So it sounds like someone lower on the depth chart or someone even outside the football program but has access to the locker room.
Yeah, possibly.
Cleaning staff, managerial staff.
Make a few
someone like
bucks
that.
or be in a video.
Come on in at midnight.
Oh, yeah, we'll give
nobody's
you-
nobody's
right.
here. It'll be a hush hush on the down low,
Right. And we'll,
and we'll try to get
give
away
you a
with
cameo appearance in the video or something.
it. So waving in the background, hey, hi. So okay. So if you like to go eat at or purchase, I should say, food at Trader Joe's, they're issuing a nationwide recall. 2 of its cookie products. They make usually you hear this uncooked stuff in it. It could call salmonella or
Yeah,
listeria
yeah.
or something like that. Not this one. The cookie products may have rocks in it.
Oh my gosh. I just went to Trader Joe's last night.
All right. One of the products is almond windmill cookies with a sell-by date between October 19th and October 21st of this year.
I love those.
Do you?
Yeah.
Look out for the rocks. All right. The other is dark chocolate chunk almond cookies Same sell date, October 17th to October 21st.
Okay, so the rocks were in with the almonds, presumably.
I guess Trader Joe's says all, quote, potentially affected products, unquote, have been pulled from the shelves and destroyed. Customers who purchased either of the products should either toss them out or return them to Trader Joe's for a full refund. They did not indicate how the rocks got into the product. Well, Trader Joe's isn't there during the production time.
That's
Right, yeah.
We just buy them from
Right, right.
the almond cookie people.
And maybe they didn't sift the almonds. Some rocks got in there.
We didn't sift the flour good enough.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but no, I didn't buy any. I didn't buy any cookies,
You're
so we're all set.
That's a new one. There's rocks in the cookies.
I bought soap, and hopefully there's no rocks in my soap. But if there are,
You'll be the
I'm
first-
not eating it.
You'll be the first to find out.
Yeah.
Ow. Hey, what's that? All right, we're done with the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Always a pleasure to have you along. Dave Richards, thanks for sticking around.
Hey, thanks for having me here today. It was lots of good conversation.
All
Don't
right,
take it
and-
seriously, folks.
And Melissa, thanks for stopping in.
Thank you for having me. Have a great week, everyone.
All right, stay tuned. Leslie Page with At the Library is coming up next, followed by Foods First with Karen Zangari. And don't forget the Tiki Bar tonight at 6 here on ON, AM, and FM.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Police all across Rhode Island are taking part in a national crackdown on speeding. The Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association